What's up, guys? This is the music loving, the mosh pit starting, spell casting, a little bit insane, the heavy metal hippie. How are you doing today? My day has been crap because traffic sucks. Thank you, DC. Let's just do this, mothercluckers. I'm coming at you with the Smackdown live review from November 21st. The show opens up with a replay vignette of Charlotte versus Rousey. This is where we see Charlotte snapping, and this leads into Charlotte opening the show live. She talks about beating up Rousey, says she won't apologize for what she's done because she's not sorry, and that she's enjoyed every moment of it. She said last Sunday was for the girls of the Smackdown live roster, that was for the champ, and said that in the end, Ronda bowed down to the queen. At this point, Paige's music hits. She tells Charlotte, don't apologize for Rousey. I enjoyed watching it. But says, I don't know if you watched Monday Night Raw, but Rousey swore to finish what you started on Sunday. And then brings up that with Charlotte snapping, she put her hands on 5 referees. Oh, wait, no. I skipped a spot. Sorry. Paige brought up that Ronda had promised to finish what Charlotte started, to which Charlotte asks, is TLC the next pay-per-view? Yes, I think so. Because if Ronda gets in my business, I will take a chair and stick her head in it and stomp on it a zillion times. This could be some potential foreshadowing to maybe a TLC no, she's got Nia Jax's with Ronda Rousey at TLC, never mind. That's not gonna work. But it is at this point that Paige does say, you snapped on Sunday, and with you snapping, you put your hands on 5 referees. You took out 5 referees. Due to this, Paige is fining Charlotte the sum of $100,000. Charlotte seems to try to laugh and say, oh, no, that can't be possible, but instead, the Iconics interrupt and proceed to insult Charlotte, calling her a Frankenstein, blonde Barbie goes psycho, to which Charlotte stops this and asks which one's going to be the next Ronda Rousey because it's in one of their futures. We get a commercial break, and this leads into Charlotte versus Billie Kay. We see Charlotte decimate Billie for the opening segment of this match. Kay rolls out of the ring in order to get a reprieve, only for Charlotte to send her back into the ring. Kay once again rolls out of the ring, and Peyton Royce blocks Charlotte's path, and while Charlotte is shoving Peyton out of the way, Billie Kay hits her with a boot. This floors Charlotte, and at this point, Billie Kay now rolls Charlotte into the ring, getting a near fall. We see Charlotte go for a pin attempt, only for Billie Kay to send her head face first into the turnbuckle, to which Royce pulls on Charlotte's hair. This only seems to give Charlotte more energy after Billie Kay gets another small burst of offense, because Charlotte decimates with 2 moves, the power slam followed by the natural selection. It's at this point she challenges Peyton Royce to a match, and Royce, with great hesitation, enters and exits the ring. We go to commercial not knowing if Royce is going to accept the challenge. When we come back from commercial, though, we are mid-match into Charlotte versus Royce. Royce is in firm control of Charlotte and attempts multiple pins, only for Charlotte to kick out. We see Royce back Charlotte into the ropes, and at this point, Billie Kay does much like Peyton Royce did and pulls on Charlotte's hair. This is where Charlotte's attitude completely changes. Because Charlotte catches Royce's kick, sends her, and delivers one of her own, goes for the slam, only for Billie Kay to enter the ring and attack Charlotte. This causes the ref to throw out the match. We see the Iconics take advantage of the numbers. They send Charlotte ringside, attempt to take a chair from the tech guy, who says, absolutely not, you're not going to do this. The Iconics turn to move on back to Charlotte, only to catch a double spear from Charlotte. and she proceeds to slam both of their faces into the announce table multiple times, one at a time, at the same time, very much like the Ace Ventura bongo drum from Pet Detective. At this point, she sends Billie Kay into the barricade, sends Peyton Royce into the stairs, and then sends them both over the announce table. Charlotte wins both of her matches, one via pinfall, one via DQ. A little disappointed that Peyton Royce and Billie, much like the Riot Squad and Sonya and Mandy in my mind, they have a good following, but they are being relegated to constantly jobbing in matches and feuds. But moving on, after this we get a promo by Rey Mysterio. He talks about Orton and says that he and Orton have had a long past with each other, but this evolution of Orton is more sadistic than he's ever seen, and that both he and Randy are at the top of their games. We get the match card for Orton versus Mysterio later on tonight, and when we go to commercial, when we come back, we get a recap of Daniel Bryan winning the WWE Heavyweight Championship last week with the low blow. I don't feel like this is a heel move. I feel like this is just more of him finding himself. I get completely proved wrong later in the night, so just disregard that. But Daniel Bryan is set to talk about what happened last week later on tonight. After this, we get Miz TV, who is playing the most baby-faced Miz we will ever see, praising Shane McMahon for all of his accomplishments and accolade, introduces him as his special guest, does the Shane shuffle for Shane, since Shane cannot do that at the moment. He says that he is a Shane stan and that he thanks McMahon again for the match and all the things that we did together. He brings up the elbow into the announce table, the 2 coast to coast, to which Shane says, "No, not we, me." To which Miz spins, "we" being a team. At this point, it was like, well, when is Miz gonna do the screw job and attack McMahon? Except Miz brings up the World Cup. Well, surely, with all the controversy behind the World Cup, Miz is gonna freak out now. I mean, he participated in 2 of the 3 matches, only for Shane to come in and win the last match. But I digress. We've been and done with that. Instead, Miz asks Shane to tag with him as an official tag team. And when Shane tries to let him down nicely, Miz kind of steps back, realizing, oh, this isn't the reaction I was hoping, and then reveals that he was so sure that Shane was going to say yes to his proposition that he asked for a tag team match and that it would be happening next. To this, we move into Miz and Shane McMahon versus Wayne and Dane, the Bryant brothers, or the Bryants. In all intents and purposes, this probably should have been a squash match, but it's kind of funny that WWE did this, because Miz and Dane start out the match. Miz is decimating Dane, could have very literally went for the pinfall and called it good. Instead, tries to tag in Shane to give Shane the pinfall, only for Shane to say, no, you did the work, please go ahead and pin him. It's at this point when Miz tries to pin Dane, Dane rolls him into a small package, getting the 1, 2, 3, pinning Miz. Unfortunately, Ms. Man is not going to be a functioning tag team. After this, oh god, we get the Thanksgiving feast fight. It's the New Day versus the Bar and Big Show in basically a Halloween Havoc match without the kendo sticks that are like candy canes, because we got a whole Thanksgiving spread ringside. You knew someone was going through the tables. I like Xavier had the 6-1 on his shirt. Again, they did win a match at Survivor Series, but WWE did not count it due to it being on pre-show. They quickly go through a promo of saying what they're thankful for Kofi says he's thankful for the win at Survivor Series. Woods is thankful for his 2 terabyte hard drive so he can play Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption 2 at the same time. Both really good games. E is thankful for, I'm not even going to say it all, but breasts. Turkey breasts. Big E, put the turkey down. That poor turkey has been completely defiled by the end of this match. At this point, we see the Big Show and the Bar enter the ring. They start talking about the New Day and Survivor Series, to which the New Day say, you know, well, at least we won our match. Only for Sheamus to say, no amount of preparation can prepare you for spontaneous urination. I hope I never have to say that again. Big E, the entire time they are cutting this promo, has the turkey in his hand and is licking it sensually. Big E does everything so sensually, it is terrifying at times. Big Show had to look at Sheamus while he was talking because he could not look in the ring without laughing. He was breaking character. But this leads into our match, to where Big Show and Xavier Woods start the match. Show destroys Woods after no-selling a couple chops, and the heels get some quick tags to work on Woods. We see Sheamus and Woods trade a few blows before Sheamus knocks down Woods, tagging in Cesaro to continue the decimation and isolation of Woods. At this point, Xavier attempts to power later on, with Cesaro and Woods being the legal men in the match. Woods attempts to power through Cesaro to his corner, only for Cesaro to shove Xavier aside, shove Big E off the ropes, and as he turns around, catches Woods off the ropes, and only for Woods to send Cesaro face first into the mat. Sheamus and Kofi tag in at the same time. Sheamus losing the initial confrontation between Kofi as he hits the boom kick, misses the traveling paradise, but gets a boot to the face and allows Kofi to climb the ropes and get the crossbody. We see Cesaro break up a pin attempt and sends Wood ringside before Big E drops him. Big E sends Big Show into the food table. First food table. We got one more to go, I'm sure. And then Sheamus Big E, after sending Big Show into the food table, gets kicked out of the ring by Sheamus. Sheamus grabs the turkey off of the other table. We've introduced the poor turkey again. These poor turkeys are going to have to go to the HR compartment and complain of sexual assault because those poor turkeys. Yes, I'm slightly insane. Sheamus grabs the turkey, only for Xavier and Kofi dispose of Sheamus, sending him ringside. Kofi goes to the top rope, to which Xavier alley-oops the turkey up to Kofi, and then Kofi slam dunks the turkey onto Sheamus through the third food table. They took the turkey off the second food table. And then it's at this point that we really start to question when we can say to stop. Because Big E fists the turkey and hits Sheamus with his fist still in the turkey's butt, giving them the pinfall. Quite literally after this match, Cesaro tries to come in and gets pelted. The New Day break a plate over his head into the corner, and he gets all the sides thrown at him. The mashed potatoes, the green bean casserole, the gravy, the cranberry sauce. Okay. I feel bad for Sheamus and Cesaro. They always get the short end of the sticks when we get these holiday gimmick matches. I fear for Christmas, or whatever holiday we're doing. After this mess of a match that I'm sure ringside worked very hard to clean up, we get an Randy Orton promo. He speaks about Rey's luchador mask, and how it's supposed to symbolize culture, heritage, respect, all of these things that you think of when you think of the lucha style, and then says that it means nothing. It's just polyester and cloth, and it needs to be destroyed, much like the man who wears it. He promises that by the end of this match, we're going to feel disgust, horror, disappointment, all the 9 yards, via RKO. Up next, we get Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose versus Asuka and Naomi. This whole match, I think, has nothing to do with the match, and more with the storyline. Rose and Deville are on the outs right now. Don't know how much longer they're going to be a team, while Asuka and Naomi are blossoming with their friendship. But let's go ahead and move on to the match. We see Mandy Rose and Naomi start off the match. Naomi sends Rose out. Sonya Deville comes in, and at that point, Naomi and Asuka send both Deville and Rose ringside. We get a commercial break, and when we come back, Deville is quite literally octopused around Naomi. I know it's not an octopus hold, but when I think of an octopus, I think of that. I digress. But Deville is wrapped around Naomi, and Mandy Rose tags in. And although Naomi is unaware and continues to target Deville, this allows the heels to deliver a double team, gaining the control momentarily. Naomi delivers a kick to the now legal Sonya Deville, and at this point, Asuka and Mandy Rose tag in. Asuka begins to tear down the house. At some point, and this is where the controversy with Rose and Deville are going to kind of start, Mandy Rose sends Asuka into the ropes, knocking Deville off the apron, and when Mandy goes for a tag after hitting Asuka with the back elbow, realizes that Sonya is not there and even calls for Sonya. At this point, Asuka suplexes Mandy Rose and hits the Shining Wizard. Goes for a pinfall attempt. Mandy Rose kicks out. At this point, Sonya tags in and Asuka dodges Mandy Rose's knee. Mandy almost hits Sonya. They momentarily argue, and as Asuka comes, Sonya pushes Mandy out of the way, taking the kick from Asuka, while Naomi takes out Mandy with her butt. I can't remember the name. And Asuka puts Deville in the Asuka lock, making Sonya Deville tap out. We get a recap of all the RKOs that Rey has taken from Randy Orton since the World Cup. But up next, we have Daniel Bryan coming out to talk about his victory for the title and in his dad clothes. He looked very comfortable. Just with the way he dressed, you could tell this was probably going to be more of, I don't know, as soon as he came out with the face and everything, you knew this was like the inner mumblings of his brain. He starts out and he's Daniel Bryan betrayed you, not on Tuesday. His failure is when he gave up on himself 3 years ago, but Daniel Bryan doesn't accept failure. He then speaks about going across the country, across the world, visiting doctors, and being recommended a hyperbaric chamber, which he explains is a treatment to where you take in 100% oxygen at various atmospheric pressure levels for a controlled amount of time. And this is supposed to help the body's natural healing system, and he did that for 3 hours a day. Most people only do it for about an hour and a half, so he was doing it about twice as long as people, and probably twice as much because he was doing it every day. He said that during this time, he had time to meditate on his mantra: fight for your dreams and your dreams will fight for you. That's a nice consistency. That's something he said since he's come back. Saying that it is his mantra. And then he talks about
his return and how he came back to the largest, loudest, most electric yes chant that he had ever seen. And then says, but that was a moment. And the people that contributed to that yes chant moved on from that moment. And this is where he really tries to spin the crowd against him, because it's very hard to not like Daniel Bryan. It's at this point he takes a turn more into the mental realm. We get the more demented side. At this point, I'm completely sold on the gimmick. This is amazing. The persona that he is portraying, the energies he's giving off, and the instability, the subtle instabilities that he is telegraphing through this character is amazing. I can't wait to see more of this. But as the crowd starts to realize that they're going to be turning on Daniel, he calls them out for chanting AJ Styles, saying that, this crowd's already moved on. And the crowd becomes really raucous, and he calls them out on being fickle. How many wrestlers have called out people on being fickle as of late? With Becky and Charlotte, there was people who were now hardcore Becky fans saying that Charlotte couldn't wrestle, who had been fans of her since her initial face turn. Then you have Becky and Nia. Nia's getting a lot of heat because she hit Becky too hard. Even in NXT, we're seeing how quickly the crowds can turn on people. I can't remember, I think Rousey actually tweeted out, or Baszler tweeted out, about learning in MMA that the crowd is fickle and that you just learn to deal with it. But to use our fickleness to turn us was amazing. He says, on Tuesday, Daniel Bryan's dreams took over, and Daniel Bryan's dreams are what kicked AJ Styles in his jewels. He moves on to beating the snot out of Brock Lesnar, and then proceeds to say, the old Daniel is dead, the yes movement is dead, and all that is left is you, the new Daniel Bryan, the champion. And then turns and screams him onto the belt, never, never, ever give up on your dreams ever again. This was amazing. I loved this. I thought this was so well done. Daniel Bryan did amazing in this segment, and I can't wait to see what more we get, because I wasn't originally thinking that this is, again, this doesn't feel like a heel turn. This feels like character shift, which I guess would be the same thing, but not in my mind. I'm probably making no sense, so I'll just move on. But we get to our main event, which is Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. Early on in the match, we see Randy bait Mysterio into a 619, only for him to roll out of the ring, to which Mysterio hits a seated senton from the top rope ringside, and then goes to the top. Orton follows into the ring and knocks Rey down, pinning him on the top rope with him behind him, and starts to work at the luchador mask. We've now set up the story for this match. Especially because you already knew that he was hinting at going at the mask with that promo that he gave earlier. Randy eventually backs off, leaving Mysterio dangling in the Tree of Woe into the commercial. At this point, when we come back from commercial, we see Rey fighting back, only for Randy to floor him. He then lifts Rey onto the top turnbuckle and once again goes for the mask, tearing at the eyelid, exposing a good portion of the temple and the cheek, temple, that quadrant of the face. It's been many a years since Anatomy and Physiology, guys. We see Mysterio at this point now realizing that he's going for the mask. Tries to create some offense. We still see throughout the attempts of offense, Mysterio is very shaken at the fact of his mask being ripped. We see him gain more momentum with the flurry of aerial offense. Goes for the 619, only for Randy to catch him, who then attempts a draping DDT, only for Ray to fight out, launching another series of quick offense, sending Orton's into the ropes. He goes for his third 619, finally hitting Orton, but Orton rolls out of the ring. At this point, Mysterio hits a baseball slide and then runs the rope, going for a suicide dive onto Orton, only for Orton to turn it into an RKO at the ringside. We see Orton drag Mysterio back into the ring, hits one more RKO, and pins Ray. Post-match, we see Randy Orton grab the chair and drag Ray out of the ring with the chair around his neck, and then runs him into the ring post with the chair over his face, protecting his anonymity from most of the world except for front row corner of ringside, removes the mask, and we end the show. I just want to thank you guys for being here tonight. I know it's always a little bit rough when I fly solo. I don't have as good of a train of thought as my tag team partner Rob does, but we're making do. He could not escape the powers higher than him tonight. We will not be recording tomorrow since it is Thanksgiving in America. And we like to enjoy our fried turkey and all of our sides. But we will be back on Friday. I do not know if we'll be doing the NXT 205 live review then, or if we'll be going into news and rumors. I'm kind of hoping we do NXT 205 live because, unfortunately, I have not been researching any of the news and rumors this week. Probably should hop on that if we're doing that. But thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channels. You can find us on Twitter at InMoshPit. You can follow me at The Heavy Metal Hippie. My tag team partner who is not here tonight is Rob's Random Roms. And again, if you like what you see, give us a like, subscribe, leave us a comment, and have a good night, guys. Bye!